VMR started here because of the death of somebody, and it's as basic as that. We had a local resident, Paul Derbyshire, drowned within sight of land. The local police were on the cliff face and just felt completely hopeless. They didn't have a boat to access to go and rescue him, and they basically watched that man drown. So that sat very heavily on those guys, and that's what sparked them to get a group of people together, fundraise for a boat and have a boat on standby to prevent that from ever happening again.
So on around Mornington, we cover, say from Dramana right up to past Frankston is our probably a patch plus Hastings, Western Port, all around Western Port, Phillip Island, Tooradin.
Our call-outs have gone from 20 or 30 a year to now 200 a year.
We're important because the alternative is our water police, and as great as they are, they don't have the resource available to make sure everyone's safe all around the bay.
We're a ready reaction group who will turn out when we're needed. We're all tapped into a network where we get called out by the water police, we get a message, which is a call out.
When a call out goes off and the guys start rolling through the door here in Mornington, we've got a tag up board. The tag up board has very specific jobs on it. So we grab our name, we put our name on the next available tag, and that dictates what job we do. We all know every job that has to happen, so it doesn't matter where we tag up from job to job, and we can all roll through this door, get the boat ready, get the boat rolling and floating in a really short space of time. In under 10 minutes we'll be out of this door and we'll be on the harbour.
When we're finished, we bring it all back and we put it back into a state of readiness. So it's always ready to go. If we have a boat that fails or we have a mechanical issue, we slot the secondary boat into place. So we're very passionate about having a boat in a state of readiness 24/7.
The standard crew that we require for a search and rescue exercise, whether it's a flat battery, out of fuel, searching for a missing person, a boat overturned or whatever, ideally we'd like to have 4.
Yeah, you get the skipper, you get the radio operator, he also controls the GPS, okay, and then you have 2 crew members who act as lookouts and general deckhands. You know, they assist in if we have to tow a boat in, they assist in fetching the boat alongside, putting the fenders out, tying the boat up alongside or hooking onto the boat while we do the tow job.
The new members start and they aspire to firstly become what we call operational. Which basically means they're a crew member. They're on the boat, they're doing live rescues and that sort of thing. For me, that took probably 12 months to get to that point. Because
when you're out there, you want somebody that's quite competent. You know what I mean? It's quite a stressful job sometimes out there, especially if the weather's really, really bad.
I thought I had good boating skills to start with, but got here after the first week, I thought, I hardly had any.
We don't know sometimes what we're going to be presented with. It's not uncommon for us to go out and do what we think is a fairly mundane job on a nice sunny Sunday afternoon, and we finish that job, we wrap that job up, and suddenly the water police call us and we're heading out to Bass Strait. So we always try and prepare for any given situation once we're on the boat.
So probably 70% of what we do is breakdowns and things like that. We do have a more serious element to it where we have missing people, missing divers, overturned boats, overdue people. That's the more serious side of it.
So each one of those has its own challenges and they're hard. They're hard to do, they're hard to manage, but we've also got to manage each other personally on the boat as well, make sure we're all okay. I
remember at one time during Black Saturday when we had the fires, we had a missing child off Frankston, and that was a tough one to do. A child had gone to the beach with a group of families and had become missing, and it was quite a sense of urgency to try and find that child, and unfortunately he was found deceased. So when you go to jobs like that, it is quite tough.
You still need the basic seamanship out there. Nature has its own way of upsetting the apple cart. Now you get out there, there's only you, right? You got to know what the sea's doing.
It's fairly serious stuff, because if you make a mistake, it's hard to rectify some of those if it's in a dangerous situation. So you've got to be spot on, you've got to be concentrating.
We hold pretty high training standards here, and we're very proud of them. One of the things that we do every time we have a serious job that involves, say, a fatality, for example, we go through a reasonably strict process of debriefing. We keep tight with the guys who are on the boat on that period, or for that job, I should say. And it's a responsibility of the skipper who's on the boat at the time, over the next few days to a week, to touch base with every single person that was on that boat, make sure we're all okay.
So we're quite laid back. There's no yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full, so we just come in, do a job and just get on with it, you know, and then disappear back to our own jobs.
The culture of volunteering in Australia is a very strong one, and governments and regulators and communities need to recognise that, you know, this country operates massively on its volunteers, so there needs to be support for it.
This is a volunteer rescue organisation, and we do it in our spare time. And spare time is harder and harder to come by for a lot of people, and there's a lot of guys in this organisation who have young families or have their own businesses and have all those things to do with life.
If you haven't got a good culture, a good fit of people doing this job, then I don't think it would be as successful as it is.
So there is a good community spirit. We've been here a long time now. People tend to know who we are, and local people do support us.
It costs this organisation upwards of $60,000+ a year just to operate, just to be on the water. So the struggles surrounding that. We do a lot of work, fundraising.
The demand for our service is only going to grow, and we need to grow with it. We need to be able to have the resources to help people when they get into trouble. In order to do that, we need to maintain our equipment, we need to maintain membership, we need to maintain funding. We need to constantly be training and bettering ourselves. You know, boating and kayaking and windsurfing and diving and all of these water sports are only becoming more and more popular every year.
When you pull up beside a boat and they're stranded, they've been there for maybe an hour or so stuck, there's smiles on their faces saying, oh, this is a relief, they can get home.
You often get back from a job and that feeling of, today we saved someone's life, you don't get a bigger buzz than that.
We're always optimistic that we're going to find somebody alive and bring them home to their families, and we always turn out with that optimism. It doesn't always work out the best, but at the end of the day, if we can find somebody and bring them home to their family, then it's all worthwhile. Yeah.